Welcome to this service of worship and thanksgiving to God in celebration of the life of Carol Flint. We're grateful you are here. The family especially is pleased to have friends and others here and online through the live stream. We are gathered as one body giving thanks to God for Carol. And we are here not only to express our sorrow, and there is sorrow in the room this day, but we are here mostly to rejoice in her life, to give thanks to God for all she meant to each one of us in different ways, and mostly to declare our trust in the power of God's love to overcome even death itself. After the postlude, as the casket and the family leave the sanctuary, all are invited to go as well. We'll be going outside to hear the Westminster bells ring in celebration of Carol's life, and it is late January in Minnesota. It's not bad out there, but we do encourage perhaps to grab a coat or something. We'll be out there for a few minutes to hear the bells. And of course, if you would prefer to stay and wait, that's fine. And then we will be going down to a lunch at the far end of the building in what's called the Meisel Room, and people will direct you there. The family is grateful you're here, and all of us are grateful for this one whom we loved, Carol Flint.
My dad wanted to say a few words today, but he wasn't sure he'd be able to get through this, so we wrote this together. Yesterday, when I returned to the house in Wayzata that I shared with Carol for years, I was overwhelmed by the signs of her everywhere I looked. The furniture she had chosen, the thoughtful decorations and photos in every room, and the meticulous planning to design our lovely home. It all reminded me of the wonderful woman she was. She was the matriarch of our family and the bond that held us together. We'd been losing her little by little over the past several years, and we've struggled to fill the vacuum that she's left behind. Carol and I met at the Fourth Presbyterian Church in Chicago while she was working as an elementary teacher, and I was in law school at Northwestern. She was beautiful, smart, classy, fun, and carefree. She was always friendly and willing to help. Her faith was important to her, which was also important to me. I fell madly in love with her. We dated for 2 years and eventually married at the Third Baptist Church of Carol's hometown in St. Louis, Missouri. After the wedding, I accepted a position at the Great Plant Law Firm in Minneapolis, and we moved to Minnesota to begin our life together. However, the U.S. government had other plans for us. Shortly after settling in, I was called up to serve in the Army due to the Cuban Missile Crisis. We had no money, and my career was completely up in the air, but Carol was always loyal and dropped everything to travel with me. I was transferred around the country 4 times, eventually landing in Washington, D.C., and in each new city, Carol was always able to find work as a teacher. It was an uncertain but exciting time in our lives. When we returned to Minnesota, Carol wanted to start a family right away. We adopted our first child and then had 3 more. Carol was a wonderful mother. She stayed home with our children, raising them and instilling them with the values that we believed in. She covered for me at home while I practiced law and fought for the environmental causes that we were both passionate about. She kept a beautiful home, taking care of both me and the children and planning lovely dinner parties and holidays seemingly with ease. She was open to new experiences that were unfamiliar to her, and she let me drag her up to northern Wisconsin to my parents' cabin in the woods, complete with an outhouse and an assortment of flying insects, and canoe trips to the BWCA. No outhouses, but still plenty of insects. When we had the opportunity to buy our share of our own cabin, Carol supported it and helped make it the family retreat that our family still enjoys to this day. All summer, she'd pack up the food, the kids, and the dog, and then pick me up from my office in Minneapolis for getaways to our home up north. Later in life, she was my companion as we traveled the world, staying in tents in the Serengeti, floating down the Amazon in a small riverboat, and picnicking on the beaches of Normandy. We had our fair share of mishaps, but through it all, Carol was my perfect companion. One time in the Amazon, we had to cut her wedding ring off with a Swiss Army knife because a massive bug bite had caused her finger to swell, cutting off her circulation. Carol and I lived our lives together for 61 years, and she never wavered. in her dedication to her marriage and our family. Even when her memory started to slip, she always wanted to be together. We shared incredible triumphs and devastating tragedies. She was my life partner, and I'm diminished by her loss. I will think of her every day until we see each other again. We love you, Mom.